hope you guys are well and enjoying the beautiful rainy weather that we're experiencing. I'm so happy that it's raining and it's not cold because my goodness, for the past couple of days has been freezing. So I'm happy for the weather. I hope you guys are fine. Hello, hello. I'm going to remind you guys to go check out the membership. I'm also going to tell you guys to check out my website, www.rusticanclassics.com. Okay, some of you still asking me for shea butter, where can you buy it, and all kind of stuff. It's on my website. Just go there and you will find it right there. So today it's a lovely rainy day, and we're going to talk about living off the land and how to start a prepper pantry on a low income, because a lot of you are interested in living off of the land and off grid and stuff like that, and you want to find information about like how to start a prepper pantry, how to store food and stuff like that. So today we're gonna talk a little bit about that, and I'm just gonna point out some common mistakes that people make when they're trying to store food or trying to make a prepper pantry, because you're trying to be frugal and trying to save for a rainy day. So I'm just gonna point out about some things that you should not do and some things that you should do, because a lot of you are interested in that topic. So let's get into the topic and welcome everybody who's in the live. I always welcome you guys, and I'm so happy that you join the live. So the first thing I'm going to say is, like, when you want to make a prepper pantry and you're on a low income, you just bought your land, or maybe you don't even have land, but you're planting your vegetables outside, like you have a small garden and you're trying to store stuff, or maybe you're just going to the store and you have a little pantry in your house and you're starting to save. Like if you have a big house and you have a basement and you have a pantry in the basement, so you put in stuff away. You might be buying things on sale, you might be couponing, you might be doing all that kind of stuff because you want to have a pantry for rainy days. Like when COVID came, people were scrambling for toilet paper. There was no toilet paper in the store. There was no yeast. There was no flour. There was no rice, things like that. You want to have a proper pantry for when disasters like that happen, when unforeseen circumstances happen. You want to have things like that. Now, I grew up where we always buy things and put it away since I was a child. Like we always be storing food stuff. So that's not a surprise to me. Like now that I'm old and everybody's talking about prepping and prepper pantry and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, huh? What is that? I grew up like doing that kind of stuff. We always buy things in bulk. We always store stuff in case something happened. We always like have food in our house, especially dry goods, flour, sugar, rice, stuff like that. Beans, we always have that kind of stuff. So like whenever people talk about prepping and all that kind of stuff, like that's not a surprise to me because we grew up doing that, saving for a rainy day. So the first thing I want to say is, let's be realistic and use common sense. When you're on a low income, think real long term before you start like purchasing items that you're going to put away for long term storage. Like, don't be there purchasing loads of toilet paper, because I mean, how much toilet paper would you need? That's, yeah, I wouldn't be storing so much toilet paper. I would be storing things like beans and peas, things that are in cans and they can last long term. I'll be storing like rice and flour and sugar and stuff like that, because these are things that you're going to need more of. Like if you don't have toilet paper, you can just cut up t-shirts or something like that and just wipe yourself with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can take another alternative. You can wipe yourself with paper, you can wash yourself with water. So you really don't need toilet paper, so much toilet paper, because you have alternative to toilet paper. Like toilet paper is not life and death, but food is life and death. So stock up on food and be reasonable. Like when you decide to make this pantry, it's like, and then you have to look at your budget, the budget that you have. And if you have a small budget, then start to cut your coupon. Say once a week you go to the grocery store, you cut your coupon if you're going to buy soap, soap to wash clothes, or soap for dishes, or bathing soap, whatever you're going to buy. Every time you go to the grocery store, buy something really small and start stocking it away. So you keep putting away your stuff gradually and gradually and gradually. You keep putting away things and not like all in a rush. So when you do things gradually and gradually, you will store, you will have a good pantry base. But use common sense. Like don't be buying loads of toilet paper. Instead, buy loads of soap. Buy loads of bathing soap, washing soap. And if you know how to make soap, well, even better. Then load up on oil, so it'll be easy for you to make oil, or load up on lye, so you can use the lye to make soap. Load up on distilled water if you want to make a certain amount of soap. So you can do that. Or if you're living close to a spring and you're going to use your spring water or your well water, that's even better. So be realistic and use common sense when you want to make a Pepper's pantry. Then point number 2 is buy shelf stable items, right? So items that after you open them, like they're not gonna go bad. So if you're buying like things that has to go in the fridge, then if there's a disaster, or if there's no power or something like that, then these things are going to spoil. So don't be stocking up on things that needs to go in the fridge after you open them. Stock up on things that is you it's not like a condom like a condiment, or something that you can open and leave outside overnight and it's gonna fine, even for a day or two, and you're gonna be fine. Hi Mohammed, hello. I'm from the Caribbean. You guys come here and ask me that so much times. I'm from the Caribbean, La Granada. So it's like, make sure, like I said in the point 1, use common sense. So like instead of buying a whole bunch of salad dressing, you can buy apple cider vinegar or just regular vinegar, and then you can decide to make whatever you want to make with it, because that doesn't go bad. So use common sense when you that. Like don't be stocking up on a whole bunch of salad dressing, a whole bunch of mayonnaise, all that kind of stuff. Like don't don't be stocking up on that stuff, because in a disaster, things are going to spoil. So you want to make sure that you have things that is not going to spoil. Things are not easily perishable. Point number 3 is choose things that don't need to be refrigerated after opening. So like in a power shortage where you lose power, you don't have a fridge. Like in a power shortage, you're gonna need a generator or something like that to back up your fridge. But most like us, we have like how you call that, a power bank, and we have like those coolers. I mean, I'm also thinking about like investing in one of those solar fridges, or those fridges that works with like the generator. So that I have to like invest in, because that's gonna be so important. Because I mean, we live in the countryside, and in the wintertime we lose power a lot. But I mean, we have like charcoal, we have wood, we have all that kind of stuff. With the wood stove we can cook on, so that's not a problem for us. But those of you who not living in the countryside, who doesn't have a wood stove, who live in the city, so you gotta like um take note, because you never know when things gonna happen. Be prepared. Don't wait for something to happen first. Just run to the grocery store and start buying things and stocking things. Like, no, don't do that. Prepare beforehand, before something happens. Like hurricane come and nobody has anything to eat. Well, if you are a prepper, you be prepping things. Like you would have your 5-gallon buckets, and you'll be having your rice, your flour, your sugar, and all kind of stuff. When a hurricane come, things get wet, your things are going to be dry, and you and your family is going to be fine. So invest in things that's going to save your life, and not in nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Like in a power outage, you have no electricity. Invest in kerosene. Invest in like lamp oil. Invest in a generator. Invest in like a solar fridge. Invest in like spices and seeds and all that kind of good jazz in case something happened. Like in COVID, I remember like people were just like going crazy, because they didn't know what to do. And look how long COVID went along. People are just scrambling. Like we were fine. We had power because we had our stoves, we had a propane, What else we had? We have charcoal, we had wood. I had lots of seeds. I was planting my garden. I planted pumpkins and like all kind of stuff. Like I didn't need to like run out there and do all kind of stuff because I'm always prepared. And a lot of people are not prepared. You need to be prepared. If there is no electricity, well, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna cook? Be prepared, people. Be prepared. Don't let another disaster happen and you stuck. Okay, don't let that happen. Oh, let me go turn off my pot. Sorry, guys, I turned off my pot. Oh, Lord, goodness. I have to make my supper. The next thing that you want to do is, point number 4 is invest in a generator that can power your house. Now, if you lose power, like we had last year, we lost power for like a week, no power for a whole week. Now you need some kind of generator that can work for your house, for your light and everything like that. Like, don't invest in those kind of small generators or stuff that is useless. Like something work for 1 or 2 days and it's not able to work again. Like when you searching for that stuff, look for things, maybe they're a little bit more expensive, but make sure you buy things that is durable, gonna last long, and they're gonna take care of your needs. Like don't just go out there buying stuff like crazy. Make sure you research and you invest in good things when you're gonna be having your proper pantry and you're gonna be planning for things that you wanna invest in. Maybe invest in like a solar panel. Like I just bought myself a solar panel because I'm saying like, oh, let me prepare for this winter that is coming in case we lose power again or we have like storms again. We have solar power so we can charge our cell phones and our computer and stuff like that. So I invested in that because I want to prepare myself for this winter. Now, another thing I want to say about generators is it's better to buy a heavy duty generator when you're buying one. Buy a heavy duty generator so it works and it works really, really well. Buy something expensive. Point number 5. When you're making your pantry, you want to invest in things like beans, peas, I said flour, rice, quinoa. You want to also invest in those things because these things they store long. And like buy things that you're gonna eat and buy things that are reasonable prices. Like red beans, kidney beans, dry peas, all that stuff is good. And it will last you for a long time. You can make rice and peas, like if you don't have any meat or something like that, you can do vegan and you can make some delicious meals with that. You can make potato and beans, you put coconut. Like another thing that I should invest in is in coconut milk because coconut milk, you can use it in a lot of dishes and it gives a lot of flavor. So invest in coconut milk. Anytime you see coconut milk, it's like 89 cents, 79 cents, 99 cents. Just stock up. Like you could have box and box of coconut milk in your house because this gives flavor to food. Like this also is a good substitute for milk. So if you want to make coffee, if you want to make tea, you may not have milk at your disposal. If there's a disaster or some kind of thing, I remember like there was no milk during that COVID time, so look for things that are substitute. I know some people they use like coffee whitener. I'm not a fan of coffee whitener, but if that's something that you drink and you like that, like stock up on your coffee whitener. If you drink coffee, I don't drink coffee, but stock up on your coffee. See when the coffee is on sale, you buy your coffee. If you like hot chocolates, stock up on your hot chocolate because these are things that you like to eat and it wouldn't go bad if you open a tin of hot chocolate. Just cover it back and it's good to go. You can use it over and over until it's finished. That's not something that's going to spoil or you need to put in a fridge, something like that. So things like stock up on those things, right? And like I said, dried beans is a good source of protein and you can make all kind of different yummy stuff with the beans. So yeah. The next thing you should stock up on is charcoal. Charcoal, it's very easy to store. If it gets wet, like you don't really have to worry about it. It's not gonna spoil or go bad. And once you have a ventilated area, you can use your charcoal, right? If you have a little balcony outside, you can just put your charcoal stove out there and you can cook your food on it. So that's awesome. I tell everybody at the end of the season, like now, when the charcoals are dirt cheap, you just go buy 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bag of charcoal and put it there. Because when you have a power outage or when something happens, you have your charcoal to cook on. In some places, like if you live in some apartment buildings and stuff like that, you can't cook on wood there. Some places, now I know in some places my relatives are living now, they said no charcoal, so you have to use propane, right? So different places they have different rules. Find out the rules in your area. Can you use charcoal? Can you use propane? And stock on the things that you can use. They have those little camping stove now on sale. They're like 30 something dollars now because it's end of the season. Go buy one. Make sure you have one. If you go on Temu or Alibaba or any of those Chinese places, you can buy this cute little camping stove. Some of them use charcoal, some of them use the butane. Like, why you don't have one in case something happened? You can't just go turn on your stove because electricity is not working. Like, have those things there. Lanterns, like you should have a lantern in your house. You should have candles. You should have a lamp that use some kind of oil. You can use olive oil inside of it or cooking oil inside of it. You should have, how you call that, shortening. Like I use vegetable shortening, so I always have vegetable shortening in my cupboard. Vegetable shortening makes a good like candle. If you have essential oils, just melt the vegetable shortening, put some essential oils in it, put a wick in there, and you have a good candle. If you lose power, something happened, the pole went down, whatever, the grid went down, like you have a candle in your house so you can see light. So invest in things I want to also invest in. You want to invest in solar. Like I bought some solar chargers and solar batteries, so you have sunshine, you put that outside and you're able to charge things. So you want to charge your cell phone. That's so important. Like when you have the grid goes down and you want to charge your phone, you need to have some kind of solar thing that you can charge your phone with. So I invested in that. And you don't have to buy everything like all at the same time. This month you buy something, next 2 months you buy something, continue stocking up your stock, increase your stock. Look at the things. Hey, say, okay, I live here. What do I need? I live over there. What do I need? I have wood. Okay, I don't need wood. I have wood. What I don't have is this. And that's how you go about, like, stocking up for your prepping. You're making a pantry for rainy days and for disaster. The next thing you want to invest in is a camping stove. I tell you guys in many of my videos about a camping stove. Like, I think right now I have 3 of them. Yeah, yes, I have 3 because I've had one for years, and then I saw 2. The same one that I had was like $100 and something. I think the first one was. Then I go and I see it was on sale at the end of the season for like I think $50, and I just pick up another one. And then we did a road trip across Canada, and we were in Saskatchewan. Yes, and then our stove stopped working, and we bought a new stove while we were out there because we was like traveling, and so we need something to cook. So we went and buy a new one because we thought something was wrong with our stove and it wasn't cooking. But after we buy the new stove and we cooked that night, I said to my husband said, okay, let's find somewhere to dispose of the stove. And I said, wait a minute, I really think maybe something is blocking the line or something like that. And lo and behold, yeah, nothing was wrong with the stove actually. It was blocked, like something fell in it and then it blocked the side, so that's why it wasn't working. And we unblocked it and we was like, oh my goodness, this stove is working perfectly. So it's like, something like your instinct just tell you something. Yeah, so now we end up having like another stove. Yeah. Hi all day Eloquence. Hi Addie. Hi, welcome to the live. So that's how we come and we have another stove. And then how did I get the other one? Yeah, the other one also was on sale, and I just picked it up because I'm like, why not? So now we have lots of camping stove and propane. I just went to the store the other day and I saw they had the propane. It was $5, three bottles of propane for like $4.59. They just have sales. I'm like, okay, let me pick up one. I think I have a good amount already. But I every time I see them, I just pick them because you can never have like too much of that stuff because things happen. And what I do is if I like say I know every winter we have a couple of shortages. Sometimes we have no power for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. You know, poles always fall down because we live in the countryside. Something always happens in the winter time. In Canada here, it's just like winter is just bad. And we always losing power in the winter. Always. You know? So it's just crazy. So what I do is when we lose power and I use the propane, I just finish the bottles that I have. And then if I see like we didn't lose any power or anything like that, and the winter is almost ending, then I kind of use up some of the propane that I have, and then I just restock. So I have a continuous like new stock of propane. Oh, thank you for watching. You're watching from India, ID. Thank you. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. So the next thing you want to buy is flint. Flint is like a little, how you call it? It's like a silver stone. Like you can buy it anywhere. It's like $6. Some places it's $11. This is a small thing, and I show you guys one of my video right when I did a video about flint to the mountain. I show what the flint look like. This is something that you want to have. This will save your life in a situation where you don't have matches or something. You just you just make some fine pieces of wood or get some brambles or something or some paper or something, and you hit the flint on it and it makes fire. Easy to make fire. So yeah, maybe you don't have matches in your house, but you have that flint and it lasts forever. Like you have it for a very long time. So every time I go, there's this store that I go shopping in, and upstairs they have like a camping area. How do you call that? Like, yeah, they have like a survival kind of area like upstairs. And every time I go there to look for shoes for my kids or to just look around for shoes, because you know kids are always going out to shoes, and this place they sell really expensive shoes, but it's good shoes. When you buy shoes there, it lasts you. So you may buy a shoe for $70 or $100, and you will not have to buy shoes again for a next year or two, and it's good quality. So I like to go there and shop and buy my shoes, even if it's expensive. But you're not buying a shoe every single year as an adult. But for children, you can go there and you can buy reasonable price shoes. So usually they have sales, and when they have things half price, so 40%, I go there and I see what they have. And then I go upstairs and I see if they have anything new in the survival section. They have a camping section and they have like survival, whatever. And you can go there and look for anything like kettle, fridges that work with solar, diesel generator, all that kind of stuff. So you can go there. So I always go there and check and see what's on sale and what do I need to add to my prepper pantry. What do I need to add to my survival pantry? So guys, pay attention, take note. Everything is not going to be in the store forever. Something else you want to be storing when you're making your prepper pantry on a low income is seeds. You want to be going and looking for seeds. Like yesterday, I was at the store buying feed for my chickens, and I see they had seeds, the last of the seeds that they had all year in the feed store. And I'm like, oh, let me go look and see the price that they have. I just saw one packet of seed that was like $2.99, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna buy it because I already have that kind of seed. But every time I go in that area, I just go into the feed store and I'm saying, let me see if they have anything on sale. And yeah, that's what I do. I see, oh, the seeds are all going on sale for like 29 cents or 50 cents for a whole packet. Like they put them together in a packet, and they may have 10 packets of seeds. They're just selling them out because the end of the season and nobody's buying. Winter is coming. So I'm like, yeah, great. I just buy those seeds because I know now I have a lot of seeds. I have a container with a good lock on it, and it closes really well. It's airtight. And I put my seeds in there, and I just put them in a dry place in the winter time. And I know in the springtime I have lots of seed. But when you wait for spring to buy the seeds are more expensive. So guys, I always tell you all, shop smart, prepare. And when you buy your seeds, rotate them. Put a date on the seeds. So say if you buy seeds now, which is we're in November, those seeds, put them inside a separate sandwich bag and write November, and then you put the date. And those seeds that you have before, Next year, April, when the spring comes, you want to use those seeds, right? So rotate your seeds so you have a continuous supply of seeds. And obviously, when you plant your seeds, make sure you save your seeds also. That's really, really important. Like, be smart. I remember a couple of years ago when the flood, the flood in the U.S. Katrina. You remember what happened? Remember all the people who died and all kind of thing like that. People was not prepared. Be prepared. I'm always saying that kind of stuff. Like, don't go crazy and be like somebody who's off the block saying, "Oh, the world is gonna end," blah 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 blah. But we know the world is gonna end at some point. But right now, everything that we buy in the grocery store, somebody has to bring it to the grocery store. Like, trucks are going every day and every night to bring things to you in the grocery store. When you are sleeping, the truckers are there driving, bringing things to the grocery store. If there's a great disaster, everything in the grocery store can sell out in 3 hours. Everything in the grocery store can be finished. I remember when COVID happened here, like in my country store, which was stacked to the brim. Like, we went in there, it's like the shelves were empty. Like, you're there like 7:30 in the morning and you're waiting for the store to open. And by the time you get into the store with all this rush of people, the store is empty. There is nothing left. You understand me? And then you go the next day, there's nothing. Nothing. You understand me? So, like, don't let that thing happen to you. Like, when things happen, everybody forget. Everybody forget. Don't forget, like, what happened. The next thing you want to buy is honey. Honey, 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 honey. Honey is shelf stable. And if you like sugar, honey is a good substitute. When things happen, people buy out sugar, there's no sugar in the store. Okay? But if you're stocking up your sugar, you will have sugar in those 5-gallon buckets saved up. Right? So you should have that. But honey is a next substitute. So every time you go to the store, buy honey. Today I was at the store. I'm like, oh, I see they have honey, organic honey on sale. Every time I go to the store and they have honey on sale, I pick up a jar of honey because honey is shelf stable. Honey lasts for years, years and years and years. So pick up honey and store honey. If you don't have sugar, you can use honey. Okay? Yeah. The next thing you want to buy is yeast. Guys, yeast and baking soda and baking powder. Okay? When I remember when we had COVID, there was no yeast in the store. No yeast, no baking powder, like nothing to make any rising agent. None was in the store. It was like, forget it. If you want to make cake, there wasn't even eggs in the store. No eggs. You know what I mean? So it's like, even if you want something to rise, you can't even make it because there's no eggs. And you don't need to use baking powder or yeast all the time if you're allergic or something, you know. So some people they just use eggs. Some people they don't even use baking powder. Some people don't use baking powder or yeast at all. I don't know for what reason, but anyways, they must have religious reason or some other reason they don't use that. But they use eggs, and some people actually don't even use eggs because some people have allergies to eggs. But I've made cake before, and I use butter and I use vegetable shot in it, and the cake was very soft and delicious. And I didn't put any egg, neither any rising agent. Guys, like when things happen, you learn to like use other things, and that's what I did. But I used to buy yeast from this company, and I used to store yeast, and then I just stopped doing. I'm like, oh, I don't need all this yeast. You know what I'm saying? And then when COVID hit, I was out of, well, I wasn't out of yeast like right away because I had a lot of yeast, but eventually I ran out, right? And we just couldn't find any yeast. I remember I found some baking powder. Yeah, we found some baking powder, and then we found this how do you call that? It was like how do you call that? Oh yeah, it was like a fermented rising agent. Yeah, we found that this fermented rising agent, And I don't think anybody had known about it because it was in the Oriental. Yeah, it was in the Oriental section. And me and my husband, we were just like looking around in the store. We went there to buy some things. All the shelves were empty. And I'm like, we're like, what is this? And we were reading the can and we said, okay, let's take one, try it and see how it's gonna work. We took it home and we tried to make some bread with it. And the bread, it was okay, it was soft, but it didn't like it wasn't like soft. And then the next time I said like maybe I need to leave it overnight to rise. So I decided to leave the bread overnight to rise, and then we realized that this thing you have to leave it overnight. So we were lucky that we found that thing. So it's like a powder, it looks like flour, and it's a fermented rising agent powder. So they still have it at the grocery store, and now I stock up on it. Like I go to the store, I pick up 3 or 4. You just have to leave your bread overnight. We found that during a disaster. I wasn't even aware of it, you know. Anyways, so yeah, so baking soda, baking powder, like disinfectant. If you're gonna buy things to disinfect your house, stock up on that. It depends on where you live, and if that's something that you like, disinfectant, like your house to smell good, or you're a person that like to clean. Me, I don't care about all that kind of stuff in the store because I think these things are full of chemicals, and I haven't been using those things for years. I just use vinegar or lemon juice, you know, or I make my own stuff. Like I infuse vinegar with lemons and limes, or I infuse vinegar with pine leaves, and my house smell amazing. And I use it to clean my bathroom, and I use baking soda to clean my toilet and that kind of stuff, and vinegar. So you can make your own cleaning products because those things in the store, honestly, they're just full of chemicals. And some of them is just plain bleach. So instead of you like buying those expensive things for $4, $5 for this small spray bottle, just buy a bottle of bleach, add some water with a little bit of soap in it, and just if you need to use bleach in your toilet or in your bathroom, just do that. You know, or use ammonia. Me, I can't use ammonia. It makes my stomach hurt. So but things like that that you know you're gonna need if you're a person who uses those stuff, stock on that. I see this lady, she has I think a double garage, and in her garage she stores all this cleaning stuff and all that stuff because she does couponing, and she talks about like saving stuff and being prepared for disasters and pepper pantry and stuff like that. But she has like she used one set of a double garage, and she stores like her soap, all her laundry stuff, she stores them in there, which makes sense. She made like shelves in her garage, and that's where she save and put all her cans and all her things, which makes sense. Something else you want to store is peanut butter. Peanut butter lasts for a very long time, and it's a good source of protein. So if you don't have anything, you can just take some peanut butter, put it on some bread. And you know what? Even if you don't have any yeast, you can just mix flour and water, and you can make flat bread like that. We call it roti. You can make roti, and you can put some peanut butter on top of that, and you're good to go. There you go. You get your protein because peanut butter has protein in it. Something that you should store is vinegar again. Vinegar is a disinfectant. You can use vinegar for many other stuff, and not just use the white vinegar, but also store apple cider vinegar, because apple cider vinegar could be used as a medicine. You can make salad dressing with it. You can clean your face with it. You know, like say we have a disaster for over a year or 2 years. You know, all the stores are closed. Just for say, right? Just imagine that. You know, and you can go to the store and buy your favorite face wash and all those kind of jazz. You know, you can use apple cider vinegar to put on your face and clean your face and make a nice face wash. You add a little water in it, you know, boil a little bit of herbs, and you know, this is your face wash. You know, you start using natural stuff to put on your skin. So go apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar doesn't go bad. You just need a little bit. You need maybe a half a tablespoon, stuff like that. If you have like an infection or something, like me have a rash, a bruise, a sunburn, apple cider vinegar, excellent for it. So like when you're making your pepper pantry, look for things that's going to be medicinal. Look for things that's going to act as a food. Look for things that's going to be able to use as a skincare. Like make a list of things and be creative in when you making your preppers list. Something else you want to make sure you stock up is oil. Oil have become very expensive these days, but every now and then the oil goes on sale. Like 2 days ago, my husband went to the store, the oil was on sale. He bring like 6 bottles of oil. I think now I have like 15 or 20 bottles of cooking oil. I have canola oil and I have vegetable oil. And I also stocking up on my olive oil. Now I'm very low on my olive oil because olive oil has been so expensive. But I used to have like box and box of olive oil. So every time you go on sale, I just buy a couple of boxes. So you need to just stack up. And don't tell me that you don't have space. You know, IKEA, Walmart, they have those cupboards, right? They have those cupboards that looks like you those cupboards that look like how you call them? They look like wardrobes. They look like wardrobes. You can take one of those things, put it somewhere in your basement or in your bedroom, and you can make that your pantry. This thing hold a lot of stuff. They're $99. You can buy one. You know, there's one side to hang your clothes, and then there's a shelf on one side, and then there's this drop out. Listen, this can become an excellent pantry. The one to hang your clothes, you just remove the hanger, and then you go to go to Home Depot or whichever hardware store, and you buy some one sheet of plywood, and you put 2 brackets on each side, and you could make 4, because it comes with one shelf and a drawer in the bottom. You can make 3 shelves, 3 more shelves up there, and it's wide, and you can store your stuff there. Don't tell me that you can't store stuff. Yes, my dear, all day eloquence. You can wash your hair with white vinegar and baking soda. It works. Yes, that's good. Especially when you have locks. It cleans your locks really, really well. I know that for sure. Yeah, I've washed my hair with apple cider vinegar and white vinegar also, and baking soda. It really, really works. You just have to rinse it out really, really well out of your hair and use some kind of homemade like herbal rinse to rinse it out, so you don't, because it tends to be a little bit it makes your hair dry a bit of, at least me, makes my hair dry a bit when I do that. And I just make a herbal tea, and I rinse my hair, then it's okay. But yeah, that's so true. You can do that. So we talk about vinegar. Oatmeal, a lot of you, like, I don't know, I don't hear people talking about oatmeal a lot, but oatmeal is so good to store. Like, oatmeal stores for long. When I'm storing oatmeal, I do not take them out of the package. So when I buy oatmeal, I just leave it in the packet, and I get the big bucket, and I just stack the oatmeal in the bucket inside the packet, because I don't know if it's me, or I find oatmeal tend to smell, if it with other things, it picks up smell, and then when you make the porridge, it just tastes funny. So I don't do that. I leave mine in the packet, and I leave it inside the 5 gallon bucket, and I just cover it. And then I just put a couple of bay leaf in there. So everything that I store in the bucket, I put bay leaf in there. And bay leaf prevent like weevil or worms, and also prevent like bad smells. It absorbs stuff. So I put bay leaf. Bay leaf is very cheap. I buy a big thing of bay leaf, like $1.49. Like, there's a store here, and they always sell bay leaf. Bay leaf is really cheap here. I put bay leaf in my flour, my sugar, my rice, anything that I'm going to store for a long time in those buckets. I put bay leaf inside of them, and never had a problem. I never had my whole wheat flour spoil. I never had my regular flour spoil. Nothing. None of my food ever spoil. And I always put bay leaf in there. My rice, I put bay leaf inside the rice also, and I don't have any problem. And baking powder, please stock up on baking powder. You don't need a lot of baking powder, but stock up on it, because when things hit the fan and there's nothing in the store, you're gonna need baking powder and baking soda. So stock up. These things, you don't have to worry about them. If you worried about them getting kind of cakey, then just put them in a jar and just keep the jar closed, and they will be perfectly fine. But on cocoa, like, cocoa powder is something that you can store long term also. And if you worried about it also getting cakey, you can also put some, like, you can put some bay leaf inside of it also. Don't put the bay leaf, just kind of just break up the leaves, not too small, and then just put it inside. And if worse come to worse and you have a problem with your cocoa powder, like, you can add a little bit of rice inside of your cocoa, And then every time you're ready to make tea, you just get a strainer and you just sift the rice out. So you just put the cocoa powder in a sieve in the strainer, and you just kind of sieve it, and then you make the tea with it, and then you just put it right back in the cocoa. It kind of prevents it from getting lumpy. So putting rice inside of it, but don't put like a tiny rice. Put like a long grain rice, so it keeps it fluid and it doesn't make it like become lumpy. But I never actually had problem with my cocoa getting lumpy. But I do have problem with there's another like a Horlicks. I buy a Horlicks in the store, and the Horlicks after a while it does get lumpy, even if you don't even open it. So the Horlicks, yeah, that's a problem. For long-term storage, I wouldn't recommend Horlicks, but we like Horlicks because of the malt extract it has inside of it, and it's really good for people who have like problems with like blood problems. So we tend to buy it because sometimes I get a little anemic, and my husband too. Um, yeah, so I tend to buy it, but it's not a good thing to store for long term. But the regular hot chocolate, it's okay. I buy the Tim Horton ones. The no name one is fine too, but after 2 3 months, it tends to get lumpy. So like keep those things in mind. I know in the States you have Sam's Club. Here we have Costco. So a lot of people go to those places and shop. So depends on the brand that you have. Like, pay attention and, see which one works for you. Something else you want to store is spices. Now, spices does not go bad. Only thing I want to tell you about spices is when you buy the spices and you buy it in bulk, just put it in a jar and keep the jar closed, and get a smaller jar, and then put the ones that you want to be using every day in that smaller jar, and the rest that you're not going to be using, just close it in a jar. That's it. Or you can even use those Ziploc bags. I have a machine that you can put the bag inside, and it sucks the air out, and it just makes it real airtight. So I like to buy um I like to buy spices in bulk. There's a place here that they sell like a lot of spices in bulk, and I wait for them to go on sale, and I really stock up. Like right now, I have like a big bag in my cupboard, like a whole bag that I bought of all different spices because they were on sale. Usually they were like six something, and they were all like $1.49. I was like, they were this big. They're like 500 grams, like a pound. Some of them were even 2 pounds, and the 2 pound ones were like $2.99, and the pound like were like $1.49. I was just shocked at the price because I never seen some like the amount for that price. But I just pick up a whole bunch of them because I know like this thing doesn't go bad. And then I went to the store, and they had all kind of different seasoning like paprika, peppercorn, parsley. They had curry. They had mustard on sale for 99 cents. And I was like, what? What is going on? And I pick up, I think, like $30 worth. And I just have a huge bag. Now, these ones, I didn't open them. So I know they're going to last a while. I'm going to try to use them in a year time. But yeah, and I have a lot already. But spices are things that you can stock up, right? Nuts and seed is something else you want to stock up on. Like nuts doesn't go bad. Like any like seeds, they don't really go bad. Like sesame seed, like flax seed, quinoa, all those kind of stuff. Like once you keep them dry and tightly closed, and you put some bay leaf in there, if you're gonna take them out of the package, they last a long time. So these are things that you want to stock up on. Like today I went to the store and I saw quinoa. Quinoa was on sale. And I'm saying, should I buy? Should I not? I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna buy because I have a couple of packets of quinoa in my cupboard. But if I go back and it's half the price because than it is today, I'll pick up 4 or 5 bags. Because like guys, it may seem like a lot, but you need to have things at your disposal. And when you're making your pantry, like don't just buy things because you're buying things. Like if you buy flour, what are you gonna eat the flour with? If you make dumplings, if you make bakes, if you make I don't know some kind of fry things with with fried dumplings, if you make that stuff, what are you gonna eat it with? So think. Okay, I want to eat ackee or something like that. So buy some ackee. You want to eat beans. You want to eat beans with your flour. So you buy beans. Like don't just buy random things. Make sure you're having things that's gonna make a meal. and a good meal. So, okay, I'm going to make dumplings and I'm going to have some beans on the side. I'm going to buy some carrots. And carrots is something too that you should buy. You can buy raw carrots and you can dry them. Like I dry carrots. I dry so much things and store them in jars. I have jars and jars of dry vegetables. Maybe you think like, oh, these vegetables are not going to be good and they're going to go bad. No, guys. When things happen in a disaster situation, you need things that's going to fill up your stomach. All right. Maybe the vegetables gonna lose 50% of the nutrients, but you're still gonna get 50% of the nutrients that's still gonna be there. So you're still gonna be able to eat that vegetable. So please dry your vegetables. Like when you go to the store and you see carrots and it's on sale 99 cents for a 5 pound bag or a 10 pound bag of carrot, get the carrot, bring it home, clean it, and you dehydrate it. Dehydrated carrot is so yummy. Like in the past, I used to say, oh, I'm not dehydrating carrots. It's not going to taste good. Huh? When I start dehydrating my own carrots that I grow, I'm like, yummy. I just made some dehydrated carrot the other day. I put it in some beef soup that I was making. That thing was so delicious. You don't even know if it was dehydrated. You don't even know. What I did was I just pour some inside a bowl. I just rinse it out and I just add it to my pot of soup. It was delicious. My husband was asking me, oh, did you buy carrot? I thought we didn't have carrot. I'm like, this is a dehydrated carrot from the summer. He was like, wow. And he loves carrots, you know? So yeah, I want to get a freeze dryer. Do you have one? Do you need to can it? I looked into buying a freeze dryer, but the reason why I didn't buy one is it's number one, it's very expensive. And number two, I'm thinking if there's a power outage, like how would I be able to use it? You know, that's what I'm talking about. So, but it's very expensive. If you can find a good one that's a reasonable price, I think it's worth it because you're able to freeze dry a lot of things. But what I do is I just use the regular old dehydrator. That's what I use. I have two of them. I think one has one is a 10 stacker and I think the other one is an 8 stacker. And that's what I do. I just dehydrate everything like this in the summertime. And then I also, if you look at my video, you will see I have those bags. I have the drying racks that you buy, the zipper ones, they zip. You just hang them up like that. And I put myself to dry inside of that and they dry really well. No flies going there, nothing. And I dry it like that, especially in the summer times when it's warm. In the winter time, when I buy stuff in the store, I just dehydrate them and I just store them in containers, usually bottles, or I use my machine. I don't know how you call this. It's a little flat machine. And then you buy the plastic, you put your stuff inside, and then it sucks out all the air. You can also put in you can also buy on Amazon those oxygen little packets of oxygen and you can put them inside them if you want. But I never use them actually. I have them but I never use them. I just use the little machine as it is and I just suck out all the air. And the taste is still fresh. The taste is good, but no, I don't have a freezer dryer. Do you need to can it after you dry it or do you just close it? I really, for the freeze dryer, once it's freeze dry, then it's good. Like you don't have to do anything with it. You just store it in whatever container you're going to store it in. So that's it. That's how the freeze dryer work. But for the dehydrator, once it's dried, it's just dried. Like you don't need to do anything with it again. Like for the carrots, I just dehydrate them and I just put them in a jar or I use my little machine if I have like when I have a lot and I just use the machine with the machine comes with like plastic bags or you can buy the plastic bags separate. And yeah, and I just put it in my cupboard and yeah, that's basically that. But when you dry things or freeze dry things, you don't need to can it. No, you don't need to can. Canning is something different. So once you can something, usually I leave things for a year When I can it, I try to eat it within a year, except jams and jellies because I still have jams and jellies in my third year. In COVID, yeah, last year of COVID, I made a lot of jams and jellies, and I still have a couple of them. Yeah, I still have a couple of them. I really have to get rid of them, eat them, and they taste so awesome. It's like the taste is out of the world. Um, yeah, the more they age, the better they taste. But yeah, um, yeah, canning is a different thing. Like once you can something, it's canned, it's good. I just leave it for a year. And if I'm gonna can something, I don't dry it. I just can it as it is. When I buy carrots and I want to can them, I just wash it really well, and then I just put salt and water and a tiny bit of apple cider vinegar, and then I put it inside my jars and I put it in my canning pot and I can it, turn it over, make sure they seal, and then that's it. Or I do that with peas or beans or whatever I want to can, especially if I want to add flavor. So I have my dry bean storage, but if I want to say I want to make 36 can beans and I want to add flavor to it, then I can it and I put it in my cupboard. So when I want to cook, I just take that one out and I just cook it right away instead of having to like soak the peas and make it separate like that. So yeah. So these are some kind of stuff that that you can do. And then the last thing I want to talk about is like don't buy milk except like when something happened, like don't rush to the store and buy bags of milk. Like it's gonna go bad. Okay? Like you buy condensed milk, buy evaporated milk, buy dry milk. I still have dry milk for years, like in my cupboard. The only thing is the dry milk you get hard and lumpy. So again, you can put rice inside of it to make it not lumpy. And for the dry milk, depends on the brand that you buy for dry milk. It tastes a little bit, I don't know, rancid sometimes. Sometimes it tastes a little bit funny. So for the milk, you gotta play around with the dry milk. It depends on the brand that you buy. It has that, I don't know, it has that taste. But I don't really drink milk. I drink nut milk, and I prefer to just buy raw nuts and then make my own milk at home. That's just easier for me. But if you're a milk drinker, buy dry milk and store it really well, and then buy condensed milk or evaporated milk or something like that. And then the last thing is alcohol. Make sure you store alcohol, rum, whiskey, rubbing alcohol. All those kind of things are shelf stable and they last a very long time. You can use alcohol to preserve things. Like say you have a lot of fruits that you may grow certain things like fruits and raisins and all that kind of stuff. Like say you grow grapes and you want to preserve grapes, you can preserve it in alcohol. Depend on the kind of alcohol that you have. You have brandy. This depends. So you can always do that. Like you can preserve raisins inside brandy. You can preserve olives. You can preserve a lot of things using alcohol, but it depends on the kind of alcohol. So if you're a person who like to make certain things like with flavor, like most people they just like olives plain. But some people you want to make some kind of olive with a little bit of sweetness, or you want to make some olives with some what do you call that? I with a little brandy or something. Like you want to make a different flavor or something when you're storing your stuff. Alcohol is great to have. Alcohol is also good to like as a disinfectant. Like if you store in rubbing alcohol, it's a good disinfectant. If you store in regular alcohol, maybe you're not going to be able to access the hospital, and you can give somebody a little bit of alcohol in case they have an infection, you need to clean it. Alcohol can make people kind of a little bit tipsy and it will take away pain, right? So you gotta look long term at all that stuff. Like I don't drink alcohol, but I have alcohol in my house for emergency situation. Like if somebody, God forbid, like there's no hospitals, or look, no, fighting could erupt. I don't know, something could happen. Somebody get a bad cut, you need to stitch them up. Well, you don't have any antiseptic, you don't have any kind of that stuff, but you can give them some alcohol and make them a little bit tipsy, have them bite on something and you can stitch up their foot, stuff like that. simple, minor things. And God forbid anybody get hurt, because in a bad situation, people need to like be careful because there's no doctors around. But at least have your stash at home. Something else that you should store up is some herbal medicine, some things to drink, just to alleviate minor pain and aches and coughs and colds and flu. You may have like a minor infection on the skin. You may have some kind of ear infection. Make sure you have all these herbs. Like you should be collecting mullein. You should be collecting all these different herbs and making like a herbal pantry at your home. Besides the thing that you're buying in the store to buying at the store to store for long term, you should also have like a herbal pantry where you are storing herbal things for your health in case something happen, like your kid have some kind of ringworm. You should have some of those plants that you can boil and give the child to drink. Bad cough, you know all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that's what we're talking about today on this live. And I hope you guys take some of these tips and start your own prepper pantry. And if you're on a low income, I just hope you start slowly every week. When you go buy grocery, you don't need to buy 10 things, buy 2 3 things, put it away, and just build upon what you have. And eventually you're gonna have a really nice pantry, and you won't really have to worry your head about things, right? They have this Zote soap here. They have one in Canada. They have one called Linden. Those soaps, it's like washing soap, right? Those soaps goes on sale for 89. Sometimes they're like 129, 149. Like go to the store, pick up 10 or 12, right? When I'm storing things, I'm thinking about how much things can I store for 1 year. So if I'm gonna pick up soap, for example, well, I make soap. I'm a soap maker, so I don't have to worry about soap in my entire life. I could always whip up some soap. I could just get some animal fat, and I can always use some ashes from my fire because I know how to make soap using ashes. So I don't even have to worry about cooking oil and all that kind of stuff. But if you don't know how to do those things and you need to use cooking oil to make soap, that's okay. You have to stock up on cooking oil. But even if you don't, you say for example, you don't know how to make soap, then when you go to the store, you see this Zote soap or you see the Linden soap that is on sale for $1.29, $1.49, 99 cents, 89 cents. Like pick up 12, right? Pick up 15, pick up 20. That doesn't go bad. And you're gonna wash clothes how much times a week? 4 times a week, maybe. You're gonna need 2 soap per month to wash your clothes, or 3 soap. Buy soap for 1 year, right? 3 times 12. That's 36 bars of soap. Okay, that's washing soap for 1 year to wash me and my family clothes. Okay, let me store 2 years of soap. So this is how you do stuff, like for certain things, like for soap, for bathing soap, all those kind of small things that you can store. When it comes to other things, you have to make a different plan for it because certain things doesn't last so long. But the things that last long, like make sure you have like at least a year stock. Hopefully in a year things are gonna change. Maybe you can fly, maybe you can fly to another country. Maybe you can take a boat and go somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe you can go to a place that's warmer so you can grow stuff. But just prepare yourself, and like don't get yourself caught in an unprepared situation. You understand? If you're living like us, we're living out there, make sure you go to the store and buy some gas containers and have gas in them. Okay, I think now I have about 5 of them, and we just store gas inside of them. That's it. Last time we were traveling, and we were out in the countryside, and we didn't have gas in our car, but we wasn't really really far from home actually. And so my husband was able to get a ride from somebody who dropped him close, who dropped him to the house so he can pick up the gas and come back and put gas in our car. You understand? Because we were far out there and we didn't have any gas in our car. Our car ran out of gas. And I think I don't know how did that happen, because that's the first time in our entire life that ever happened to us. But we knew we had gas at home. So we wasn't even close to a gas station. So this guy just dropped my husband at home. It was like a 15 to 20 minutes or something like that. way out there we were. No, it wasn't that long. I think it was like a 10 or 12 minutes drive to where we were to our house to get the gas because we're out, way out. And yeah, he just went to the barn, get the gas, and got the guy driving back, and yeah, we put gas in our car. Like if we didn't have gas, we were kind of stranded because there was no gas station like close by for us to go get gas. So things like that, like you need to do, like, and it was not even a disaster. But you know what I'm saying? Because we had the gas, we were able to do that because our car stalled because I don't know, we didn't look at the gas meter, and we took the car that had no gas in it, and the car that had gas in it, we left it at home. That was too funny. But anyways, things like that. Like in the wintertime, our 4 big gas containers always have gas. We also fill up all our devices that need gas, like all the lawnmowers, the snow blower, all that stuff is filled with gas. And last thing I want to tell you guys if I close up this live is, you see those cars that you drive? Every week, make sure your car is full of gas. Okay? We have a routine in our house. Every Friday afternoon, we fill up all our cars with gas. You understand? In your mind, be prepared. You understand? Every Friday, we fill up our cars with gas. In case something happened, me and my family in our car, pack up our car, we are gone. You understand? We don't have to stay in line to wait for gas. You understand? Anything happen and you have to hit the road, we can hit the road, pick up this set of kids, take this set of kids here and leave. And then we have our gas tanks filled. If disaster happen, every car get a gas tank and we are gone. So I'm just telling you guys, be prepared because you never know what's going to happen. When SH hits the fan, be ready to go. Don't be like the virgins who say, give me some oil to put in my lamp. Well, the bridegroom come and they get left behind. So don't be that kind of people. So everybody who joined the live, I appreciate you guys so very much. All Day Eloquence, thank you for joining. Adi, Mohammed, Ferris, thank you. I really appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, as I always say, stay beautiful, think positive, and do not allow anybody to make you angry or upset because it's not worth it. You only have one life and live it to the fullest and live in the spirit and be free and don't let anybody make you in bondage. So I hope you take some of these little tips that I tell you, and I want to see you guys having your proper pantry and you are ready and you don't get left behind when disaster happens. So guys, ciao. I will see you in the next live. And I think I am going to do a November vlog alive. There's Vlogmas. I'm going to do a live Vlogmas. In that, maybe I might do 1 or 2 live every single day until the end of the month. Okay? So I'm going to put a poll on my channel and tell me what you want me to talk about, topics and tips that you want me to give. I'm going to do a poll on the community page. Okay? All right, guys. Ciao. See you next one. Bye.